Hello friends, today I'm going to show you an exercise that will not just get you moving up and down the fingerboard, but also allow you to see how notes and chords interact with each other and create movement. In this exercise, we're going to go around the circle of fourths using triads or three-note chords. And for that, we're just going to use our C, E, and A strings. We don't have to worry about the G at all, so it doesn't matter whether you're playing high G or low G. Now, you might have heard of the circle of fifths before, and the circle of fourths is just that, but backwards. It still goes in a circle, but with the opposite movement. The reason that the circle of fourths is very important is it shows us the dominant function of each chord, or where that chord wants to go. And we've seen this and heard this all the time because you've all played G7th that wants to resolve to C. Well, how does C relate to G? We have G, A, B, C in our musical alphabet. That is our fourth. As we go up a fourth from C, we go to F. C7th wants us to go to F. So in the circle, we're going to see where each chord wants to move to, and then create the movement to get there. So we make sure we can play this entire exercise on this instrument. We're going to start on F instead of C, or else we're going to quickly run out of frets. So our F chord is just going to be, without the G string, open C string, F on the first fret of our E string, and then A. Open, right? Just like our regular F chord, but we're not worried about the G string. Now to go up a fourth from here, we're going to go to a B flat. It's okay if you don't know your circle of fourths. We're going to learn it as we go along here. So from F, it's going to bring us to a B flat. Now the big thing that we want to keep in mind here is that the note that's the name of the chord, we start F on the first fret of the E string, is also going to be in the next chord. It's just going to become the fifth of that chord. So we're always going to keep down the name of the chord as we go to the next one. So here's our F chord, and then to go to B flat, we leave that F where it is, and we add the notes in our B flat chord, which is of course a B flat is the name of the chord, and we're going to add a D as well. Nope, this is just like the B flat you've probably played and hated before. So we go F, sounds nice, going to B flat, and there, where do we go from there? Well, remember, the name of the chord's going to stay. So here's our B flat on the A string. This exercise forces you to think about what the names of the notes are and how they relate to each other. We're going to go to an E flat next. So F, B flat, and then go to E flat, which is going to look like this. Ignore the G string, 3, 3, 1. Here's our E flat now. So we have F, B flat, E flat. And now things get fun. Note that these chords only have 3 notes in them, which means once we get past the first 3 voicings of the chord or inversions of the chord, they're just going to continue to repeat up the fingerboards. These first 3 are the most important. Really, the first 4, because we'll have our next barred version of what was the F. So we get F, B flat, E flat, then we're going to A flat. Again, the E flat here on the 3rd fret of our C string, that's going to stay. And here it is. And what is this chord? We have 3rd fret, 4th fret, 3rd fret. Right? That's the same voicing, same relationship of notes as our F major chord. That's our A flat chord now. And then as we go up, that note stays. It's the A flat on our E string. We go to our D flat. Well, that's the same exact voicing. We use for B flat down here. Then our D flat stays. Go up to G flat or F sharp. And again, now we're just going through these 3 voicings as we go along. So we go F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, and this is just going to continue up the fingerboard. So get used to these first 3 voicings. It's all that you really need. And now we're going to play the entire exercise together, going all the way up to C, which cycles us all the way back around to F. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now a message from our sponsor. That is also me. I have a new record out. You should go listen to it. It's not so bad. Make sure you take time not to just play this exercise, but to say the names of the chords as you go through it and really recognize where the root note of each chord is, because that's going to be very important as we expand upon this exercise. Whenever you're playing the F major shape, it's always going to be on the E string. That's always our root. Remember, that gets carried to the B flat, but now our root is on the A string. And then our E flat voicing, which is going to repeat up the neck, it's on the C string. Memorize those three things, and it's going to tell you a lot and make the next section a lot easier. So we need to now add movement to the chords. These chords sound nice together. They don't sound out of place, but they don't sound like they're moving to each other. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add the flat seventh of each chord. We're going to take the fifth of the chord, make it a flat seven. It's going to sound like this. So first we have to find the fifth because we need to know what note we're replacing. And you need to know your root first. So here's our F chord. Our fifth is going to be the open C here. So we're going to replace that with an E flat. And note that that is one fret away from the note that we're going to in our B flat chord. That's our voice leading. That's why it sounds as though it should come to this B flat chord. So now our F, as it is in our B flat chord now, here's our root on the A string. Our fifth is now on the E string. So we're going to add our seventh there, which will be an A flat on the fourth fret, B flat. We're going to add that A flat, and that's leading us again to that note in the E flat chord. So now that B flat becomes our fifth. What was just our root is now our fifth. And we're going to go on the fourth fret of our A string. That's going to give us our D flat to get us to go to our A flat chord. Let's listen to those first four chords with this extra note, this leading tone added in. Then once we're on this A flat, remember we already established this is the same as F, just moved up. So again, our seventh's going to be on the C string, on the E string. That pattern just moves up the neck as we go. So as long as you know where your leading tone is in each of these first few chords, you can find it very easily in the next few because it's always going to be the same relationship to the initial chord. So now let's try the circle of fourths exercise with our leading tone added in. 2, 3, 4. With some practice, I'm sure that all of you can play this exercise, but it's not about just playing the exercise. It's about truly being aware of how the notes in each chord are interacting with one another and how they change their function based on the chord that we are playing at the time, and how just changing one note in a chord can create a whole new sense of direction and meaning to that chord, which will open up a world of musical possibilities for you. If you'd like to dive further into this concept, join me over on the Tin Man's Magic Ukulele Club or on Patreon, where we have an extended video as well as a PDF to go along with this lesson. I'll see you all over there.